for the city of Prattville this evening. At this time, we do invite you to stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, and I will give the invocation for the evening. Our flag is here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you join me in prayer, please? Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight and we thank you for the privilege of living in a country and in a city where these processes take place. You've given us participation, you've given us choice, you've given us freedom, and we thank you for all of those privileges. However, we come before you humbly, recognizing that no matter what, you are still sitting on the throne, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. We recognize that you hold ultimate authority tonight. We pray that you would guide hearts and minds and words. Help the candidates to relax. Help them to be their very best self tonight, to put themselves forward in the very best way possible, and to just be at peace, to know that we want to see their best. We want to see what they have to bring to the city of Prattville. Help them to know that whether or not they sit on this dais, that there are many, many other ways to serve, as all candidates will not sit here with us. We just pray that whoever is not sitting will also find ways to serve and to be a blessing to our city. Thank you for those who have come out to listen and to participate. I pray that you would bless our night as we go through this with your wisdom, with your help, with your guidance. We love you so much, Lord, and we recognize the privilege that we have to do this. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll for us, please?
Councilor Jackson.
Here.
Councilor Taylor.
Here.
Councilor Merritt.
Here.
Councilor Whalen.
Here.
Councilor Strickland.
Here.
Councilor Greene.
Here. Declaring a quorum present, I do call this meeting to order. Tonight, we will hear from qualified candidates that have already applied to fill the vacancy here in District 1. We ask for a few things from those of you who are here tonight in our audience. We ask that you silence any electronic device and that you not talk during the times that the candidates are presenting. Those who do talk and have devices go off will be asked to leave the meeting. We do have our security from the police department here tonight, and they would escort you out if needed. If you do need to get up and leave the room for another reason, please wait for the candidate to finish their speaking and then enter or exit as the candidates are out. The candidates' names will be drawn by the council to decide the order in which they present. The candidates will not be asked any questions. They have already been advised to come in ready to present and answer the predetermined questions that were sent to them. Councilor Jackson, we're ready. Will you draw the first name for us, please? Will you please go get Mr. Burton to join us?
Evening. Madam President, Councilman, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say good evening to you. My name is Ken Burton. I live on 711 English Hill Drive. First, I'd like to tell you that I really wish I wasn't here tonight. None of us wish we were here tonight. Weeks ago, we lost a good man, friend, and councilman, and Albert Strickland loved his family, his friends, community, and church. it's a sad evening to have to meet like this. He's missed and will continue to be missed by all of us here. We're fortunate to have him in our lives and our community. I'd like to take now to thank you for the opportunity for me to visit with you and introduce myself. We have 3 children who were raised here in Prattville. We're the 5th generation to be a part of this city. Both my grandparents, both sets of grandparents, moved here in the 1940s and brought a couple of my great-grandparents with them and made Prattville their home. And my granddad, Robert Nichols, was one of the town doctors, and he helped build the hospital up on top of Wetumpka Street. And some of my family say that I was one of the last babies born there in 1970. Don't fact check me on that. But my grandmother Rowena was a stay-at-home mom and was an active member of the community. My other grandfather, called Burton, he had a little store downtown Prattville, and then became a deputy of the sheriff's department, and later became and retired as chief of police in Prattville. His wife Lois was a teacher at the primary school. She probably taught a lot of us that could be in this room right now. Fast forward a few years, Steve and Sue Burton, my parents, were both raised here, obviously. Steve retired as the senior partner of Jackson Thornton and Company, and while he was there with Jackson Thornton, he had the chance and opportunity to open a satellite office, and he chose Prattville, downtown Prattville, as one of the locations where he still resides there today. My mother, she retired as a school teacher from the Cobb County system, and both were very active with our community. My wife, Laura, who I've been married with for 32 years, she is a school teacher at the primary school. It seems to run through our family, school teacher. And she too has been involved in civic groups. But through the generations, my family has been blessed by the city and many benefits that it has provided for us. I've been blessed with a long 30-year career in the cotton industry. And a few of my roles are relevant to this position as District 1 as a councilman. For a few years, I had a chance to work for the National Cotton Council, which is the lobbyist group for the cotton industry. It represents the industry both globally and in Washington, D.C. As the executive director, I helped create and manage the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol, which is the industry's sustainability program. I visited many people through the supply chain when creating the board of directors. And through my contacts, my communication, and getting to know people, I was able to add to the board a vice president from the World Wildlife Fund in D.C., vice president of Levi Strauss, vice president of Tesco, which is like the Target of Europe, the vice president of the Nature Conservancy. This board consisted of those folks, as well as cotton farmers, cotton gin, a manager, a cotton merchandiser, and a cotton cooperative. A very diverse group that was created. And this group created a program that provides the data that tells the consumers, investors, and brands and retailers that U.S. growers are treating the environment, the soil, and their workforce with high standards. It's an exciting part of my career to be involved in that project. And it's exciting to, as a lot of you have seen, being involved in projects and seeing the end product of it. I mean, it's just cool. I like being involved in projects. But that was 3 years of my career. 27 years of my career, I was had the opportunity as a cotton merchant to buy and sell cotton from the Carolinas to West Texas, and then also sell cotton to domestic mills and international mills. I've been working for a Fortune 50 company, managing their U.S. cotton division. My office is located in Lubbock, Texas, and I work remotely in the woods here in Prattville, which is great. And I've a conservative approach with my team when buying and selling cotton. It's important that we're good stewards with the money that with investors' money as we're running the operation, because it's a publicly traded company. Managing this multi-million-dollar operation can be compared to the city managing a $110 million budget with taxpayers' money. As the manager, twice a month, I have to provide projections for the Cotton Division's profit and loss statement. These are provided to the accounting department in Chicago, as well as the sales division in Geneva, Switzerland. And accuracy is a key when providing these projections. Otherwise, it'd be like steering a sailboat without a rudder. And I'm sure with a lot of city government operations, you guys have to work on projections for a lot of things. But through the years, I had opportunities to serve Prattville and Otago County in various capacities. For 18 years, I've been the chairman of the city's Commercial Development Authority. And through this committee, while working with city council and mayor, we were able to bring the Bass Pro Shop to our community. Every time I walk through those doors, I'm reminded of the impact that store has for our city. My committee was also instrumental in bringing the Alabama Department of Public Health Training Center and the administrative annex. I think that was here in recent years, maybe with some of you. Again, when driving around East Prattville and seeing high hotel occupancy due to that training and administrative building out there, it's pretty impressive. And again, it reminds me of a great decision made by all. Both of these projects are exciting, and again, it goes back to seeing the end result of a project that you're invested in. I was nominated and appointed to the 911 board. During that term, we were able to expand the call center and stress improving technology to ensure that our community would be cared for as quick as possible. I've served with the Otago Education Foundation and the Central Alabama Community Foundation. I've chaired both of those, and both of these organizations fund needed grants to our schools and local nonprofits. As a board member, it's rewarding visiting with applicants and learning about their needs, and especially funding them. That's the exciting time when you hand out a check. I'm an active member of the First Methodist Church, and I'm on the Finance Committee as well as the Staff Affairs Relations Committee. We're about to finish being the chairman there. As a person seeking this position, I want to point out that our leaders, you guys, have done a great job in economic development. As our city moves forward, leaders need to concentrate on sustaining what we have and continue to have a balance for what's to come. We should continue to attract manufacturing facilities like Hardy Plank, James Hardy Company, or International Paper. We should continue to attract professional career white collar jobs, a lot like what we've seen with the public health training and administrative annex. And finally, the city should continue to support our schools through projects and continue to support the Central Alabama Community College. The continuation of the education quarter-cent tax is a must. And I think our city should consider public-private partnerships. By creating these, this could provide educational opportunities, an aquatic center, a museum, library, and or an event center. All these ideas are directly related with our earlier comments about economic development. We need to continue to protect and serve our citizens. We need to keep an eye on our debt while providing new projects and facilities to the public. And in turn, this would attract businesses and continue to practice successful economic development balance. And so in closing, I feel that I have a skill set that I can offer to the community and to my district. I'm a good businessman and communicator. I'm a people person. My kids don't like going to the grocery store with me. I talk with everybody there, even if I don't know them. My family loves the city. I love the city. I'd like to see it continue to move forward. I'm excited about what the future holds. And I recently read a quote by General Colin Powell, who quoted, "Always focus on the front windshield and not the rearview mirror." And that's what I think Prattville should do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Burton.
Thank you. Greene.
I'm gonna be off, you just finish that and just let me know when you're ready.
No, I mean for her to go bring them in. She's waiting for us to finish notes. Everybody ready? Ready? Okay. No, she was waiting on us to tell her she will finish with her notes.
phone silence, please.
May I approve? Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Sir? Yes, sir. A lot of people in here. Alright, so, my time started, so I'll get going. Good evening. My name is Wes Greene. I live at 2212 Windhaven Drive, where me and my wife have been about 21 years. So, a little bit about myself is, I grew up in Montgomery. So, after school, I went off and went to college and lived in Auburn for a little bit. I came back and started a job with the Montgomery Fire Department. So, at that time, I knew that I did not want to live in Prattville anymore, that I wanted to move to the preferred community. I wanted to come to Prattville. That's been 28 years ago. So just a little bit about myself as far as history, as far as I've had a good amount of community involvement. So me and my wife have been active members of East Memorial Baptist Church. My wife taught here in Talbot County for over 20 years. She's been at the State Board of Education since then. So all my children came through the public school system here in Prattville. All the downtown schools, all three graduated, thank goodness, from the high school, and have gone off to colleges and get other degrees and now work. So some of our engagements that we have participated in Prattville is numerous. It can go back to the many swim meets that we went to, wrestling meets, football games, baseball games. I was a Dixie youth umpire for a little while. So when I lived in Hollybrook for a little while, we started a neighborhood watch that after a small vehicle break-in, we put that together, kind of brought the neighborhood together. So we moved from there, moved to Winfield, where we live now. Things that I've been involved in since then also is, at this time, I'm a captain with the Pelham Fire Department. I'm the fire marshal for the city of Pelham. So I've been in Pelham for 18 years, almost 19. And I've stayed in Prattville because I love Prattville. I don't want to move to Pelham. I want to stay here in Prattville. So that involvement has also brought me back several times. 2002, when the Gurney building caught on fire, I came as a fire. Came and helped we control that fire with the Prattville Fire Department and some other fire departments. So in 2011, when the tornado hit Kmart in that area, I put on a fire department t-shirt. I wasn't working for Prattville, I was working for Pelham. Came to work. So we started doing some searching, doing some rescues, and I participated in that. Last year, 2023, I was at the fire station in Pelham, tornado hit. Got on the phone, called Prattville, hey, that's my home. What do y'all need? We need help. City of Pelham sent 2 fire trucks and myself down here, and we did searches all night. So we contributed, and I've been an active member of Prattville for many, many years. And you know, one of the questions that y'all gave us is basically, what kind of issues do you see Prattville having? You know, I think that issues with an S is a little much. I think there are some issues that we can do, but I believe there's one that we can wrap it all up and kind of put it all under one umbrella and solve several problems. And that is revitalization of our downtown areas, right? If we could start in our corridors overlay, Main Street. Main Street, what was it here for first? It was here to bring visitors to Prattville and also to get our residents to and from the areas they needed to go to. Well, Main Street is not the only corridor that we have anymore bringing people into Prattville. We have several other corridors. If we can tackle that revitalization together, and let's revitalize some of these areas, and when I mean that, I'm talking about buildings, how they're built, when people rebuild them, what they can rebuild with, what they can't rebuild with, what they can do, setbacks, lighting to protect public safety, you know, different parts of the building. And we can do that with our property maintenance code that's been adopted. All we have to do is, as a city council, come up with a overlay district. What it does is it's another zoning that's over the existing zoning that we have, and we can set a constitutional, basically what they can and can't do, and what we can do to improve our areas, right? Sidewalks, we're doing a great job. So what this does is to be enforced basically by the building department and police department. But not only are we gonna enforce it, we're gonna get incentives to help you bring your property up. So we can get what we want people to know Prattville should look like. We got a lot of visitors that come through Interstate 65. So what do we wanna offer them? We can offer that revitalization by a planning and zoning overlay district. Overlay district means in these certain corridors where it's heavy populated, you've got to maintain this zoning and these regulations to keep up, right? So, you know, that entail, you know, how would I do it? Like I said, we can enforce it through the building and police department. But mainly what we need to do is offer incentives. What kind of incentives can we give you to help you bring that position or bring that up? So, basically, you know, bless you.
Excuse me.
To, you know, to wrap all this up, you know, why do you think, you know, another question is, why do you think I'm the best candidate? Well, me standing, before you as the fire marshal, I've already worked with city council, I work with architects, engineers, other city officials. I've also been all over the state. I just was in Auburn during the last tornado. So what we do is, we'll send out a team of people that are in these positions that can affect, approach disasters and stuff. I'm a part of that team. So I have experience. I have experience with city councils. We have a, mayor, city manager, system set up in Pelham. I've dealt with city manager. I talked to her today, talked to her on a regular basis. So I have these relationships already built. I have that understanding of how local government works with zoning and stuff. Not only have I done that, I've worked with, like I said, engineers and architects. When people bring plans to us to say, hey, we wanna build this in Pelham. Hey, Hoover wants to slide this into our city, you know, what can we do? What can we collaborate with? The fire marshal and the building official are the ones that sit down and we go through the plans. Not only can I go through the plans, then I gotta present it. And who am I presenting it to? Stakeholders, building owners, not only the building owners, the business owner. So I've been there to help make these decisions. And that's why I think I would be the best candidate for this position. I have run for this position before. I love this town. I think that I can make a difference. I have a lot of interest in staying in Pelham, wanting to be, you know, Pelham proud. I'm still, hey, the preferred community. I love it, right? But I do would like to be a part of the city council, and I've made this known by applying, and I've actually run before. So I want to thank you for your time, and y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, sir.
As a reminder, everyone, please silence any electronic devices. Any other disruptions, we're gonna ask the police officers to escort you out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come in and I figured it was in order.
Just so I'm with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my name is Donald Johnson, and I'm honored to be here today as a candidate for District 1 seat on the Prattville City Council. I'm currently a blue-collar working professional at an international paper down in Prattville, where I focus on production, but I also serve as the chairman of the safety committee, chairman of the training committee, as well as the co-chairman of the Mill-wide safety team. Recently, I've been working in the role of the safety coordinator for our department, and in these roles, they've given me a unique perspective on the importance of safety and well-being of our workplace and as well as the community. Beyond my current job, before that, I have a passion of mentoring youth and working in the community. As a former high school and college football coach, I've learned the value of teamwork, discipline, and leadership, which are qualities I strive to install in people that I work with from day to day. I'm actively involved on advisory committees within my church, within youth services, and I still mentor through Brother organization where I help guide young men to have a track to a better life, brighter future. My commitment to community service runs deep. That's a value that was installed by my parents, Don Shadell. They installed those values in me and my brothers. They taught us that true fulfillment comes from serving others. I've worked tirelessly behind the scenes in our community, not for recognition, but for the genuine desire to make a difference. As a candidate for District 1 of the Prattville City Council, I want to continue the legacy of service, ensuring our community thrives and the voices are heard. Doster and I are also dedicated to raising our son, Donald III, D3, with the same values and service of responsibility. Together, we can build a stronger, more connected, transparent, and thriving city government body that our community for the future generations. To go into some things on why I feel, or what I feel are some important matters within the community. First, I like to address the infrastructure, all right? Our city roads, bridges, drainage, wastewater, public facilities are all in need of significant attention. I feel that we must prioritize the fundings for the repairs and upgrades to ensure the safety and the efficiencies of our infrastructures. This is not about fixing potholes, it's about creating foundations that support the communities as we grow, which we all know that we're growing very rapidly. Every time we turn a corner, there's a new neighborhood going up, and that's great for our city, for the growth, but there needs to be better infrastructure in the road. We've all noticed the great sidewalks going out on the east side of town. We've known some better stoplights being put up, things of such. But we need to expand, we really need to expand on how we are how we are going to get a hold of the growing infrastructures for the residents in this community for a better quality of life. Another thing I feel is pressing in our community is economical development, right? We cannot ignore the pressing economic challenges that we have in District 1. Many of our residents we live out in what we like to call the food desert, because we're on the outskirts. We're in the city, but we're on the outskirts, and we live in what we call the food desert, where it's hard to access healthy and affordable food in a timely fashion. Additionally, we have seen minimum business growth in District 1. And one thing I'd like to do is to be able to come up with a plan to develop more economical development within our district as well as the city. Additionally, we have, to combat this, we must develop a targeted initiative that attracts new businesses, support the existing businesses that we already have by creating initiatives for grocery stores, service providers, and restaurants to come to our neighbors and neighborhoods out in District 1 as well as the entire city. We can enhance the accessibility and create jobs. And furthermore, we should actively engage in local entrepreneurship, providing resources and mentorship to help succeed and in turn stimulate our own local economy. By doing those two things, I think it helps what our problems are, which one is the rapid growth that we have. We are the preferred community for a reason. So people want to live here. So we need to make sure that we have good roads and good bridges and good facilities for people to be in. And for the people that like to live on the outskirts of the city in what we call the country part, we need to ensure that they have ways to go and get healthy foods. You know, we have the Dollar Generals here and there, but they're not always stocked. We had a Family Dollar, but it's gone, right? We have really good fire service and really good police service. We need to make sure that all these places are accessible. That's why one big thing I keep talking about is infrastructures, right? And the last thing I think the city really wants and the city really needs is transparency. Transparency from the council, from the mayor, from the governing bodies in this county, right? Transparency is paramount, and it's our citizens deserve to be informed about the issues impacting their lives, our lives, right? It's all of us in this room, from the city finances to pending litigations to better oversight of city operations. It's crucial for us to foster an environment where citizens feel empowered and encouraged to come to their local government leaders. This means holding regular town hall meetings, maintaining accessible financial records, and openly communicating challenges that we face in our community. It's important that we as citizens are able to depend on the people that we voted as councilmen. As a citizen and as a father, by focusing on improving infrastructures and promoting economical development in District 1 and ensuring transparency, we can create a thriving Prattville all together. Together we can address these most important issues and build stronger communities. I ain't got but a little time left. So in closing, I'm excited to stand before you today as a candidate for the Prattville City Council District 1 seat. I recognize that I may not be a current or former employee, or I may not have as many deep running ties, but where some people may say that as a disadvantage, they may see it as a disadvantage, I see it as a challenge. I've accepted every challenge that's ever been thrown at me my whole life. I firmly believe that the city council that I aspire to serve with will be fair and practical in the selection process, and I'm committed to putting myself out there, ready to work tirelessly for the betterment of the community. As a blue-collar professional, working at International Paper, I understand the values of hard work, dedication, teamwork, and community service. My journey in leadership began many years ago, all what started in mentoring youth. And that's why I got into education, got into coaching, so that I would have the opportunity to impact my community behind the scenes. Now I'm ready to step on the forefront and run the race swift and soar like eagles. And be there and understand that people need us, councilmen, because we are their voice. I'm driven to serve on this city council, not for recognition or accolades, but to continue my lifelong commitment to my community, our community. I believe our city faces significant challenges, and I want to be a part of the solutions, ensuring that every resident in District 1 and the city has a voice. My main focus is not on race, black, white, or brown, but green, prosperity. Prosperity for our community, prosperity for our city employees, prosperity for us as a community as a whole. I want to reiterate my commitment to serving District 1 and an entire Prattville community together. I believe that we can address the challenges of infrastructure, promote community, promote economical development, and be transparent for all residents with the support. I will work tirelessly to ensure that every city, every citizen in this city has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you for your time. I look forward to the opportunity to serve with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Strickland. And before I address the specific questions that the city has asked me to answer, I'd like to take some time to share why I believe I'm the best choice for the vacancy in District 1 and on our city council. Several key experiences in my life have prepared me to be a well-rounded and effective voice on the council. First, it was my father, a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, who brought me to the river region 30 years ago. I have a deep understanding of the unique challenges our military families face while stationed here, as well as the hopes and needs of our military retirees excuse me, and veterans who either choose to stay in Prattville or return to settle down. In addition, I grew up with parents who were self-employed business owners, and they own both residential and commercial properties. And this has given me a unique perspective on the important role these property owners and entrepreneurs play in the city's economy and the relationships that they seek with our local government. For the past 25 years, I have had the privilege of teaching English and theater here in Atauga County, forming lasting relationships with colleagues, parents, and students. Many of those students are now adult citizens in our community, contributing to our district as professionals and raising families of their own. They are doctors, lawyers, teachers, welders, hairstylists, and even serve as our city's firemen and women, police officers, and public servants, including candidates for city council. My husband has 25 years of experience as a teacher, coach, and athletic director as well. So as a longtime coach's wife, I also deeply understand and appreciate the role that sports and athletics play in the lives of people of Prattville. The city has clearly tried to foster that, which I do support and appreciate. My time and energy have also gone toward building our theater arts community, which our city also graciously supports. And I have built connections and partnerships between our county schools and our city arts organizations. I say all this to tell you that my family and I have a deep investment in the city of Prattville. I've lived into my District 1 neighborhood for over 2 decades, and my children are graduates of our local public schools. Moreover, in the last 6 years, I've served on the board of directors for both local and statewide arts organizations, where I've had the honor of taking on leadership roles. These experiences have involved planning events, managing budgets, resolving conflicts, and making important decisions that affect others. While some of these decisions were challenging and sometimes uncomfortable, I've always been guided by what was best for the organization as the primary thought. I believe the same approach applies to being a city council member, making thoughtful, balanced decisions in the best interest of the people I would represent in District 1, and of course the entire city as a whole. So I just turned 50. I'm not mad about it. Because one of the things that age gives you, if you're really willing to look hard at yourself, is knowledge of your strengths and weaknesses. I know that one of my strongest qualities is my ability to work with people. I've been successful in listening to others with an open mind, and I'm willing to change my mind if the evidence supports doing so. I also speak to others as I would like to be spoken to, and I am excellent at helping others to work as a team. No matter how knowledgeable or capable you are, the ability to collaborate effectively is really what is essential to making progress forward. So now that I've introduced myself and given you an idea of my experience and strengths, I'll move on to the second question the council asked us to answer, which is this: what do I feel are the most important issues facing Prattville? So I've been thinking for weeks about how to answer this question, and I've realized that the most important issues facing our city are the same issues that most of America is facing right now, no matter where they live. These issues include employment, housing, education, and safety. People in Prattville want to have access to good jobs and affordable housing. They want to send their children to local schools that deliver a quality education in a secure environment with people who care. They want to feel safe when they go about their day, whether it's to the grocery store or the local concert by the creek with their family. These are foundational things to maintaining the quality of life that we all value here in Prattville. So the last question asked of the candidates was what solutions we would propose to solve these issues. Quite frankly, I don't have any. And I am quite aware that that does not sound good when I say it out loud. But I am a realist, and I am a citizen who understands that many of the ways to improve Prattville are presented to the City Council as a series of choices. Where do we spend this money? How do we spend that money? What effect does this legislation have on these members of our community? We must decide where and how to allocate resources, how zoning laws and permits are managed, and what regulations are most effective in addressing the issues of housing, education, and employment. Now, that is not to say I don't think there are any solutions. It's just that the issues of employment, housing, education, safety, they're not singular problems to be solved and then we just tie them up and forget about them. That's not how it works. These issues, which again are the issues in most communities, are always changing. The minute we solve a problem and we say we've solved it, we're going to find a new problem. So it is an ongoing living thing. However, I do feel that many of these problems can be mitigated by the city government by trying to take a proactive approach rather than a reactive one. And in preparation for this open interview, I did do a little informal research. I discussed the housing market with a couple of local real estate agents. I spoke with some county school administrators. I looked at some census numbers for what was available. Basically, what that let me know is that our city is growing. And while this growth is exciting, it also makes planning for the future, especially in terms of housing and employment and education, more critical than ever. So if we don't plan now for that, we risk being unprepared for future demands, which could lead to more reactive choices as opposed to planning further out. And we want to have strategic decision making. So these decisions are complex, and there isn't always a quick fix. The goal should be to take thoughtful actions to prevent any problems from escalating. So the other issue with solving these city issues is that they're all tightly intertwined. So, for example, if our schools can't hold up to the standard that military families have for their children, they will choose to live somewhere else. And from what I understand, that's already happening, to at least a small degree. If we don't have a safe community, people will not be interested in buying or renting homes in our city. If we don't encourage companies and small businesses to come to Prattville and stay, then they will move to other communities where employees have better options of where to live and where to send their kids to school. So ultimately, the city council is a legislative organization, and I would like to add my voice to this council, which, if I'm doing it right, is the voice of the people who live in my district. My experiences in real estate, athletics, education, the arts, and my connection with both city and county organizations make me well suited to fill this vacancy until the next election, where the people of District 1 can again decide for themselves who they would like to represent them. Council members, I appreciate your consideration in appointing me to fill the District 1 vacancy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burton.
Is your phone hanging in there with it?
Could you tell us the next person coming in?
Mr. White.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let me first introduce myself. As many of you all know, my name is Doster. I live on 621 West 4th Street. I am a retired Army Major. I served 25 years, 11 months, 11 days in the military, and in 4 combat deployments, and I had a few peacetime deployments. So why is that important? I have experience with nation building, from planning to on the ground operations. Now I do philanthropy activities such as feeding people experiencing homelessness, advocating for those who do not have a voice, and assisting income insecure families with food scholarships, clothes, school supplies, Chromebooks, laptop computers, toiletries, shoes, monetary assistance, and helping veterans in various ways. So, what do I believe are the most critical issues facing Prattville, and how would I support them, fix those issues? Well, one of the major issues facing Prattville is infrastructure challenges. Affordable housing. How would we do that? By getting grants from the local government and also using our banks for the community reinvestment act that's funded by the federal government. Better broadband throughout all Prattville. You know, when the COVID-19 hit, we found out that we had a big connection problem. Thus, we had to use the buses in all the local areas so we can get all our kids connected to the internet. How do we solve this? We talk with both our state and federal representatives and senators to secure funding for more updated and affordable broadband for all citizens, not just for some, but all. This equates to more educated scholars, better ways to teach our scholars, and better incomes. The next issue and challenge would be better land management. Ensuring we place measures in place to control the flooding of properties in both District 1 and District 2. If it is not controlled and managed appropriately, we will be faced with future challenges such as sinkholes that we've seen throughout the United States and throughout the world. Adequate mental health services to address our growing number of mental health challenges. The hospital and the Metro jail is not the answer to addressing our mental health challenges. Therefore, we need to build infrastructure and tackling that challenge. How do we do that? We go back to the city, go to the federal, and ask for funding, write grants. Wastewater initiative. The Biden administration gave us 10 years to get rid of all lead pipes. We need to be thinking, we need to be forward thinking instead of being reactive thinking. We can't wait till the 10 years to get these things fixed. Improved electrical grids. Y'all heard me say this several times, especially when we got the American Rescue Act money. We need to improve our electrical grid. Every time something as simple as wind blow, part of Prattville is out. We need to invest in better electrical grids. From cutting down power line, cutting down trees that's close to power lines, to updating the electrical grids so that all lights won't go out every time we have a wind blow. The other thing is lack of transparency by our local politicians. We need checks and balances. That's the reason why our forefathers did the 3 branches of government, so we can check and balance each other. Right now, we have $5.68 million litigation. I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna have worse than that with the Metro jail. Once the lawyers get through coaching all those prisoners and coaching the employees about that mold that's over there, we're gonna have way more $1 million that we're gonna have to pay out. But no one thinking about that. It leads me to the other one. Think ahead and address future concerns. Economists and labor economists experts predict a shrinkage of 80% in construction workforce in the next decade. Therefore, we need to create a 2045 plan to address this need. However, we need to do an honest assessment of our current infrastructure, which includes repairing, updating, shoring up, and keeping our hospitals. Because we know in rural areas, a lot of hospitals are closing. When you look at the things that I just mentioned, it's a direct correlation between substandard jobs, housing, health, and reliable workforce. We know the future of healthcare is in prevention, not in management. And housing is a crucial component of preventive healthcare for the country. Do you know that that Brown University did a study, especially here in Alabama, during the COVID, and it was a direct link between housing and the health. You say, well, look at how many people on respiratory system, walking around here with respiratory bags. Look also at how many people that's using CPAP machines at night. I know I'm not the only one that smelled Union Camp coming through the house, and I guarantee you, I done paid for the most expensive filters and still can't keep it out. So we as a city need to work on trying to get them to upgrade their emissions and making sure they pass the emissions. We need more structural activities for our young people. We need to bring back the Boys and Girls Club, summer jobs with the city and the county. And we need to be intentional in doing that, because a lot of our kids getting in trouble. We need to do more activities with our kids. Reason why a lot of these kids can't even go into the military because they're overweight, can't pass the APFT. I had that same issue when I was in the military. I was a commander over in Korea, in Camp Humphreys to be exact. And most of the soldiers I got in, they was not prepared and ready to fight. And the motto in Korea is ready to fight tonight, because you never know when the North Korean might come over to DMZ. Lastly, we need to update our aging signal lights. The lights on 4th Street and Court Street are outdated and consistently hold up traffic. These outdated lights cost people time, and in today's world, time is money. As we are not as bad as some cities our size in Alabama. No, but yes, we can do better. There's always room for improvement, especially for what our citizens pay in salaries compared to bigger cities that pay competitive salaries for their city employees and politicians. When you know better, you do better. If we do more of this, this will lead to transparency, checks and balances. This will lead to our transparency, which will lead to rebuilding trust and confidence of our citizens. If we had these checks and balances and we were doing it correctly, we wouldn't be in the $5.68 million litigation. If we were doing the checks and balances, Metro Jail wouldn't have mold, and we have potential lawsuits. That's gonna cost us more millions of dollars in the long run. As I conclude, I'm not saying I'm the best candidate. However, I am a person that was a professional soldier, well educated, and does many things in our community out of my own pocket. All the things I told you for philanthropy, I do that out of my own pocket. Yes, every once in a while I get some donations, but it don't equate to what I put in. And the other thing is, I'm always a learner. I'm a student, going to different cities, talking with the politicians, and the different roles give me the opportunity to do that. I'm the senior vice commander for the DAB Chapter 12 in Montgomery. I'm also a part of other nonprofit organizations that give me the opportunity to go to different cities, go to different states, and talk to different politicians. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for allowing me to come and present why I would be a good candidate for District 1, for a great man that led District 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. The council will take a 5-minute recess. We will return